Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are checking out PHONY, covered by Petra Gurin. Now, I'm really excited about this. We got to hear Petra's raw vocals from the big NIJISANJI EN cover, and I mentioned, she sounds amazing with her raw vocals there. So I'm very, very excited to see what, her own published content is like. So this is a cover, but still, it'll give me a pretty good feel for what her voice is like, and I'm excited to see what she sounds like, especially with this song. So let's jump into things in 3, 2, 1, play. Ooh, very breathy. Ooh. I actually like how she's doing those little, those digital stuttering vocals that just kind of spurt in here and there. I really like how she recorded those. They're very, very subtle, but she goes down low, then she comes up high. Also, I want to mention that was a very, very it was like a breathy whisper vocal. It was like a very throat centric, very whispery, very breathy, and it was almost shrill, but felt like bassy in tonality. So I like, and obviously, we had that digital suppression effect on that vocal there, so it wasn't the best tell for what her voice is going to be like in this cover, but still, I quite like what I could, tell from the demeanor of her voice there. It's a very soft voice. And we're blending in these interjections. I have to say, generally when you hear someone sing, their voice generally it's pretty high velocity and very forward facing. It projects very clearly in their normal midtone, right? And then as they raise up high, generally, at a certain point, when you're belting, you can belt a note up high, but when you go into that head voice, I'd say it generally becomes more airy and more breathy as they come up high. But I feel like Petra, at least so far, I don't think she's really going into their head voice necessarily, but when she's coming up high, she gets less breathy. So her sort of this mid-tone that she's sustaining for, her, just sort of that bass ground of where the vocals are. It's very breathy and it's airy, but when she comes up high, it's very crisp and clear. And you can tell she was very clear on her high notes, and then she comes down into that breathiness. And I'm not sure if that's something she's just doing for this song or if it's something that she does very commonly. Nice. Nice. Okay, that was really, really good. I'm gonna pause it before we go to the big hype part, because that pitch control was awesome. I really, really like the pitch control she has over her voice. I will say it feels like she's not really projecting though. Obviously she is, right? She is projecting her voice, and it sounds amazing. It sounds actually phenomenal. I really love the pitch control she has, and even the control over her demeanor, I'd say. I really like that clarity versus that breathiness, but it feels like, and this could just be the mix, but it feels like Petra's not really putting her all into the vocal. She's not just projecting all the way, just feeling the song. It feels like she's almost nervous a little bit. I will say, the reason I say that, it could be just because it could be just the mix, or it could just, be the timbre of her voice, the type of voice she has, because it sounds like a very soft voice. And so it's possible that projection, this is her projecting, and this is her putting her all into the song, and it sounds amazing. I mean, listen to just that pitch control, and it's hitting all the right notes. I love the way she's adding that bit of inflection. You know, she's still like aware of what the lyrics are, but I feel like, you know, it just doesn't have quite that oomph that we heard from, like, for example, Luca's cover, where Luca just, he felt the lyrics, he felt the song, he went all in. And so even if his pitch control wasn't like as accurate or as phenomenal as Petra's is here, he still had that emotion and that energy he put into that song. Not to say Petra doesn't have that, but it's just like, I feel like either we're going to get that later in this cover, or I'm not satisfied, I guess, with the amount of energy in her voice. But I really, really love her voice. Interesting. So we actually, because right there, the backing vocal was like practically on par with the main vocal. Like, I wouldn't say, like, obviously it was a backing vocal that we introduced, but the sustaining main vocal wasn't like especially louder than the backing vocal we introduced there. Alright. Ooh, I like that. I like that drop we got there. I am curious to see if maybe that energy is going to come in later. Okay. We're getting that suppression digitally. I like that mirror effect too. Okay. Playing around with the harmony. Okay. Alright. Nice. Okay, right there, we got a bit more, you know? It could be just me, like, hearing the natural, like, breathiness and the natural softness in her voice that I'm saying, like, I want a little more energy to it. But right there, like, that projection right there, she was like belting that out. That was great. I absolutely loved her projection there. That was excellent. And, you know, the pitch control throughout this cover has been nothing aside from stellar. So I absolutely love the pitch control she has. I will say, I'm quite interested actually in if how exactly the mix was done for this, because the mixing of the backing vocals feels very unique for this cover. Because I feel like the backing vocals are like a lot more present, and I feel like almost the main vocal tries to like match the backing vocals to make it feel like more involved in the mix, which, you know, for some songs I'd say that's a bad choice, but here it absolutely works. I mean, here I absolutely love the way the backing vocals are mixed in. Alright, and then we have our 11-second instrumental. I really, really like just the timbre of her voice. Ooh, I like that breathy echo effect. Nice, okay. I like that. I said echo effect. I don't know why I said that. It wasn't an echo effect. It was just another interjecting vocal, just going, like, just emphasizing or repeating that ending syllable of the line. I actually really like that. That was actually really, really nice, because it's just kind of off to the side. It's very subtle. It's breathy. It's low in both in volume and in pitch, and it just adds a little bit of, you know, wholeness to the mix. The bass is coming up. All right, here we go. Nice, we're getting a bit more energy now. Awesome. Okay. I really, really, really liked this cover. I will say, the pitch control, like I keep saying this, I keep saying this. The pitch control is amazing. Pitch control is amazing. But honestly, I like. There was not one part where I was like, "Oh, that could have been maybe retaken, or that could have been a little bit edited." Like, no, this entire thing was awesome. I will say, for all the technical finesse and just the technical mastery that Petra has with her voice, I will say I feel like she loses out a little bit in power. Like I feel like the power of her voice, like when we hear, like for example, Enna, no, like Enna Alouette, when we hear her, like her covers and her originals as well, you can tell that she can just turn, she can just belt out her voice, get some crazy power behind her voice, and she always has that perfect pitch control. And Petra, she definitely has that pitch control, and I'm excited to see like if she's able to, over time it gets more power into her voice and she's able to belt out notes more and more. I will say this cover is from like a year ago, so it's possible that her voice now is very, very different, and she's able to just belt out notes like crazy now, where she might have not been able to a year ago. But nonetheless, this cover was really, really awesome. I really, really liked it. I will just say, a bit more power in her voice would definitely had made, like, that last part would have blown me away if there's just a little bit more oomph in the vocals. But nonetheless, I really, really enjoyed that. That was a really awesome, and I completely understand why you guys were telling me to check out Petra after we did the raw vocals reaction. So yeah, like that was really awesome. I really, really liked just it's a very soft voice, right? Like she's got this very soft, inviting voice. It's a bit breathy on those like mid tones to low tones, or I guess mid ranges to low ranges. But like nonetheless, I feel I don't know if that like breathiness is something she's doing intentionally, or that's like the natural, aesthetic to her voice. I'll just have to check out more from her to figure that out. But which we will be doing definitely. But I do think that that I really actually enjoyed how she went from the breathier, the aesthetic in her voice towards that more intense aesthetic for belting out those higher notes. I will say, I feel like generally a lot of people tend to do the opposite, right? It's a very high velocity, very clear on the low notes or the mid ranges. And then when we come up high, it gets a little airier and there's a less support. Maybe it's more in their head voice, and we rely on the instrumentation to fill in for the support. But here, I really like how Petra covered this song. It was really awesome. So thank you very much. Feel free to let me know if you'd like me to check out anything else from Petra or from anyone. And let me know about Petra, if there's something you think I should know about her, whether it's her voice or just her as a talent in NIJISANJI. Feel free to just comment that down below. And yeah, I'm excited to learn more about Petra and really everyone in NIJISANJI. It's been really awesome just learning about all these different talents that you guys share with me. So it's really, really fun. I'm really, really enjoying it. So thank you very much. As always, have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you next time.